know what I did this morning? I started cooking a chuck roast in the slow cooker and didn't think of, doing a video on it. But the more I thought about it later, I should have, because I seasoned it a special way. I haven't seen this combination on any recipe anywhere on the internet. So it's just something that I've made up in the past because I really love the barbecue flavor in the chuck roast and everything. So it's one of the ingredients that I do add to this. Let me actually go over what I did when I prepared the chuck roast, and then I'm going to make up the gravy to go over that, and that will be videoed for you. But what went into the seasoning of this whole chuck roast, basically I used bone broth. You can use beef broth, but any chance I get, I use bone broth. It's just a very, very healthy thing that boosts your state of ketosis for the keto diet. It's just an incredible food. You should drink it every day, bone broth. The other thing is coconut aminos and also sherry wine. It's a cooking wine. This particular sherry wine has like 1 carb. Okay, those are the liquids. I put in one of these packets, it's 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then I put in a little bit of ketchup in there. Sometimes I just make up the barbecue sauce in advance, and I have that on hand, but I didn't have it on hand, so I didn't make my typical barbecue sauce that I would normally put in there, but I put in a lot of the ingredients that I would do to make up the barbecue sauce anyway. For the seasoning, I just used, of course, my garlic powder. I used onion powder, my all-purpose seasoning, 21 seasoning Salute, and then I used salt and pepper, of course. And those were the only seasoning that I added to it. The thing with the chuck roast or pot roast, whether you slow cook it or anything, is the fact that they're usually normally cooked with potatoes and carrots, which is something we can't have on this diet. So I'm thinking I could make my vegetables on the side because I don't want them soaked in the bone broth. But broccoli, I'm definitely making mashed cauliflower because that goes so beautifully with the chuck roast. You gotta admit that. The other thing I was thinking of is maybe I'll do some spinach with it. In either case, you could do whatever vegetables you want. And so I'm debating on that. So stand by, I'm gonna do the gravy, and you'll see the finished product. Alrighty, well that looks nice and done. It has cooked for 6 hours on low. It's already slow. But I'm gonna scoop this out very carefully so it doesn't fall apart yet, because that's the thing with chuck roast, it tends to crumble on you. And I'm just going to put it in this dish. Ain't that nice? Alright, so now we're left with, right over here, the sauce that it cooked in. All those wonderful flavors are in here that the chuck roast cooked in for 6 hours. So I'm going to drop this into a pot on the stove, like so. Now I'm going to add the xanthan gum. That's my thickener. There are other thickeners that you could try to use. This one doesn't have any flavor, but it does tend to clump, so add it very slowly into the sauce. When you're making gravy, you want it thick but not clumpy. Now I'm going to taste this. I want to make sure it's salted enough. Oh wow, that's good. Whoa, this is going to make an incredible gravy for this chuck roast, I'm telling you. It is delicious. It's really in what you put in there, and I think it's, you know, when you put the little bit of cooking wine in there and the coconut aminos. A lot of people put Worcestershire sauce. I don't use Worcestershire sauce because it has ingredients that are non-keto friendly. And I'm on a very strict keto lifestyle. I've lost the weight, well actually I have 2 pounds to go, but I've lost the weight relatively that I wanted. But to maintain the healthy lifestyle, I have chosen not to eat anything unhealthy. It's what got me in trouble in the first place when I put on the pounds, you know, the molasses and the tapioca starches and the foods that are just not good for us, you know. And that's my choice, you know. I mean, a lot of people do it just to lose weight, and that's fine, you know. I definitely wanted to lose weight, but in my case, it's a lifestyle. Here we go. It's starting to thicken. It does take a while. You have to sit here and stir this thing. It's very boring. Wish I had a TV I could watch while I'm doing this. While I'm stirring, I thought of something else. Blabbermouth. You could fast forward, but basically, the thing with that I was saying about the keto diet is, you know, on those high carb days where people carb out and they eat junk, and that just to me defeats the whole, you know, keto healthy thing. So instead of carbing out on potatoes that convert to sugar, I really want my body to be sugar-free. I don't want any sugar or things that convert to sugar. Cancer cells can't live when there's no sugar in your body. They can't survive in there. So if you're having a high-carb day, like my favorite thing is raw milk. It's high in carbs, but it's very healthy. And that's what I carb out on, things like that. So think of healthier things on your high-carb day or your high-carb weekend. I usually have a weekend of high carbs, and that's where I drink all my raw milk. All right, to each his own. I'm done lecturing. You know, I stirred the gravy for quite a while, 5 minutes, and I didn't like the little graininess that the xanthan gum left in there. So I blended it, and now the grains, all that graininess is gone. So it's still hot because I just took it off the stove, and now I'm going to pour it over my chuck roast. Oh, that is gorgeous. It's nice and thick. Oh, look at that. So now it's actually ready to eat. And I'm going to do that. But I'm going to need to make my veggies first. So I need to keep this warm. I'm going to put this in the oven to keep it a little bit on the warm side and have a chuck roast dinner. So I hope you like this recipe. The gravy is absolutely divine. I mean, the sauces that the chuck roast cooked in has made the best gravy in town. I hope you try this particular recipe and let me know in the comments what you think of it. All right? Okay, bye.